So hiya guys, hope you're well. Welcome to the May Q&A here on London Visited. Thanks so much for joining. It's a bit later than normal. I thought I'd put it in the slot where we used to do the live stream. We will be doing the live stream again soon. But for the time being, I thought, do you know what? Let's put the Q&A in here until we get that back and going. And I love this bit because it's still interactive anyway. So where am I? If you saw the map at the beginning, we're in Kensington Gardens. And Kensington Gardens is a lovely part. One of the parts of the Royal Parks is attached to Hyde Park with the Serpentine going right through the middle of it. In a minute, as we're doing the walk, we'll go through right in the middle and you'll see Kensington Palace, because that's right bang here in the middle. And if you know the park and know the area well, I'm walking up from Gloucester Road, which is behind me here, all the way up to sort of Queensway. And who knows, I might do a deviation, because there's a place I've realised there's a statue I've not seen whenever I've been here. So I could really do with seeing that. By the way, just in case you're wondering what that noise was, that was a runner who was absolutely knackered walking past me. Oh, sorry, running past me. But he ain't far in front, so I don't think he's done that far. Anyway, hope you're well. Welcome to this month's Q&A. I got loads of questions, so thank you so much. Same rules apply if you've got anything you'd like to ask us. And God, have we got a variety of questions, and we're going to get through them all. Even if we're here until the sun goes down tonight, we're going to get through all of the answers. I'll also give you a bit of a view here in Kensington Gardens as well, so we'll mix it up a little bit. And if you've got any other questions that you'd like answered, very simple, put them in the comments below and I'll keep capturing them as we go through the month. So if you can't think of anything immediately, come back and put something in at some other point. You know me, we'll catch up with the comments, reply to everyone's and acknowledge everyone's comments. So please do put them in there. We've got some crackers this month as well. So Kensington Gardens is beautiful. So we're on the sort of the main broadwalk, the main avenue going through the middle. There you go. This is pedestrian, but it's also used by bikes as well, so you've got to be really, really careful as you go through here. But as you can see, the trees are out, lovely greenery. There you go. And lots of people coming at you left, right and centre by cycling. Not that they're taking any care anyway. It's a Saturday evening in May. So yes, I am wearing a t-shirt and the weather is glorious. It's actually been about 20 something today, which is lovely. Right, and I'll tell you what we'll also do before we kick off with some of the questions and answers, just to give you an idea, because it's lovely. And it's one of those evenings when everyone's out and about, coming for a walk with their family. But we're already up by Kensington Palace. I'm not going to tell you too much about Kensington Palace because we have covered that in a video that we've done previously. And I'll tell you what we'll do. Yep, we'll put the link to that up in the top right hand corner so you can see that. But as we go across, these are the gardens of Kensington Palace, and you've got the wild meadow. It's good to see. They kept all this area wild here with wildflowers, etc. And there's benches in the middle, so they cut little footpaths so you can get to the benches in the middle. And this is rather lovely. It's almost a bit like a live stream, isn't it, really? Talking to myself. No. It's great, I just want to bring you these things. Here we go. Right, there you are. And the sun going down. Thankfully, the sun's behind the cloud. Mind you, as I say that, I think it's about to come out. So, there is Kensington Palace. Let's just zoom in on that. There we go. And then as you swing round, you have the white statue, the Queen Victoria statue there at the entrance. Cleaning up, and then you've also got what's called the round pond, and we'll walk around that very, very shortly. I'm just got to be very, very mindful. There's people whizzing by with bikes here all the time, so I don't want to get knocked down, but I want to bring you stuff. So anyway, the beautiful Kensington Palace. Now, last time I came here, they had a whole haute couture exhibition going on. I can't remember what they've done now. Oh, that's right. People living and working within the palace is the new one. But that's lovely. Look at that. Fantastic. And in the day, that is absolutely alive with people. It's a very, very popular attraction here. But it's one of the forgotten palaces. People go to Hampton Court. Of course, they go to Tower of London. but it's also a working palace. A lot of the royals do live here in quarters around the back. So there you go. Right, very nice. So that gives you that view there. So I'll tell you what we're going to do without falling in. Let's go for a walk around the round pond, and we're going to go to that bit. Hopefully we can share that together. Yeah, we will. We'll share that together. The bit that I've never been to before, and it's a statue which is at the side of the Serpentine. Could be so careful here. But look at this. There you go. That's what I mean. Didn't realise the Tour de France came through the middle of Kensington Gardens. Right, let's switch it around. Hello, back again. Right, fine. Excellent. And also around here, you've got lots and lots of families. There we go, down by the side of the water. But you've got lots of wildlife and all the rest of it as well. Excellent. Right, should we hit some other questions? Come on, let's do it. Don't forget, if you've got any questions for me for this month, which we'll put in June's, whilst I'm walking around London again somewhere, then do drop them in the comments down below. Right, so the first one we have is, oh, by the way, you always get a name check as well. So the first one, oh, Channy over in New Zealand, thank you so much for your question. You're first off this month. Question is, oh, this is interesting. When I take videos inside stores, churches and other places, do you have to get permission first? Really interesting one, that one. And it's one that's shared by other YouTubers, especially those covering London. I'll mention her name in a minute. It's really funny because if you get a professional camera out, one of these digital cameras, and not necessarily a big one, but one of these digital cameras, the security staff are on you like a instant. They're on you. You can't film in here, can't do that. If you get your phone out, and the quality of phones these days are absolutely incredible, 4K cameras and all the rest of it, and actually a lot more stability in some cases as well, no one even bats an eyelid. Yeah, the end product is the same. It's going on YouTube, so we're filming it. So do I have to ask permission? No, because I just do it. And it's one of those things, do you know what? It's best to seek forgiveness than ask for permission and go through the hoops and all the rest of it and then probably be turned down afterwards anyway. But everyone does it, so it's one of those things. So no, I just literally grab the phone and do it in 4K. And what was really funny was I know from my YouTube stats and all the other bits and pieces, a lot of you watch Hannah. I can't remember what her surname is, but anyway, Hannah Ricketts, that's right, who's another YouTuber, and she vlogs her life in London and wherever she's travelling and all the rest of it as well. And I remember she was saying the same thing in one of hers, which was, you know what, you just have to get your phone out and sort of sometimes surreptitiously film. And you'll know when I've surreptitiously filmed, because the clips that I put together were about 10 or 15 seconds long to make up a long video, and you've got lots of little bits, because it's like grabbing a bit here and grabbing a bit there. Now let's just get the view behind. There we go, so you've got Kensington Palace behind the round pond, which is rather lovely. There you go. So anyway, that's how we do the filming. Yeah, and that covers that on getting permission. So, Channy, fantastic question. Hope you're well in New Zealand, and I know autumn is almost over and winter is almost there in the southern hemisphere. So I hope all is good with you, and thank you very much. Any other questions, drop them down below. Right, next one. It's Karen over in the States. Karen, who's been following us for many, many moons. And Karen, thank you. Right. Karen's question is Antiquus and Antiquaris on King's Road, Chelsea, still up and running? And she imagines the antique. So it used to be an old antique shop, vintage retail, just a whole load of a collection of different sorts of things. It's basically an old antique shop in the sort of the King's Road area. Well, funnily enough, I thought it was open because I did look at this a long time ago, and it's been sitting on my list of places to go and film at some point, and I thought I saw it. But what I actually saw was a watch place. So the actual place, the actual antique place, is closed down, and it actually went bust back in 2007. By the way, just behind me you can see that the wildlife have made a bed here in the middle of the pond so that they can nest. Tell you what we'll do, we'll just quickly whiz around to Karen. I'll come back to you in a second, so don't worry. There. So you've got the water line there. Then as you go out, they've actually made sort of a nesting area around the edge here. How lovely is that? There you go, just out of reach, but nice and safe for them. Right, we're back. So yeah, Karen, so it went bust, closed down in 2007, and the name is now used by a very posh watch brand. And I also found there is an antique shop called that as well, but it's not based in London. It's based well out, and it's mobile operating only. So I did have a good look and do my research beforehand. But what you'd also like to number 2 is the ICA on the Mall, still functioning. It had been a kind of museum, gallery, lectures, presentations with a dynamite eatery within. Now, I'm going to have to go down there, but I can confirm, because unbelievably, I was speaking to a colleague 24 hours ago, and she said she went to a gig there at the ICA on the Mall, and it catered for 200 people. And she went and saw an artist there called Mabel. So if you're in the UK, you'll have heard of Mabel. If you're from the 80s and from the UK, you'll have heard of her mum, who is Nana Cherry. Anyway, her daughter is Mabel, and Mabel was performing there. So she saw her there just a couple of nights ago, which is quite funny. So there you go. So yes, that's definitely open. And again, that is on the list. Right, let's just have a view, because also you've got a central avenue, which takes you straight down the middle. Takes you down towards the Serpentine, so we're going to go walking down there, and then just perching over. See that building there above the trees? That's Centre Point, so that's Tottenham Court Road. So straight as a die down there, you've got Tottenham Court Road, but then when you swing round, I love doing these videos because it really does bring you London, and then when you swing round to here, by the way, that sharp pointy thing that you can see there is the Royal Albert Memorial outside the Royal Albert Hall, and then right in front you've got Kensington Palace. Fantastic. Back to the Q&A. Hello, welcome back. Right, let's take a little shortcut around there. It's getting busy. Lots and lots of people around. So anyway, Karen, there you go. That's your answers to your 2 questions. Thank you very much. Lorna says, now, what did we do? Oh, that's right. Last month we did the Q&A walking around St James's Park, and did the Blue Bridge, and you saw the beautiful lake, and then the views over to Buckingham Palace, and then back over to Horse Guards. And she actually said, do they trim the willows and the low-hanging branches from the water in a boat? They're beautifully manicured, must be difficult for you to get around when it's busy. Do you know what? It really is, which is why quite often I'll do it in the week, do this filming, or alternatively late of a weekend, because there's not as many. Mind you saying that, there's loads of people around today. So do they trim? Yes, they do. They do as much trimming as possible. There's a massive army of people. When you walk through these places, they go, could do with it here actually. Almost took my eyes out. But yeah, there's an army of people that sort of tend to all of the gardens, etc., keep them in a fantastic condition. And they'll do all the trimming, etc. And yeah, I would imagine they're getting a little rowing boat and get the stuff that they can't reach from there. Just keep it all trimmed so the views are kept in check. Right, tell you what, let's go to the other side and show you, because that's a nice open greenery area here. And you've got people playing. There you go. Lovely. Fantastic. See, almost summer's evening. Which basically means we've got the weather in May. And if you're coming to London during the summer, sorry Rhonda, it's going to absolutely throw it down. Right, okay, there you go. That's a weather forecast, long range, but predictable. Right, next we have, Luana says, Beefeaters, the gin, London gin. No, I'm sure it's not LOL. I can't remember what the gin was called beforehand, but it was then named Beefeater to give it that London feel about it. Might have actually been done by the London Gin Company. There's a lot of gin companies around. One of the nicest ones that I've tasted, if you're ever in the area, is in Notting Hill on the Portobello Road, and it's called Portobello Gin. Inside tip, there you go. So if you're coming over, that's where you want to head. And they've got a pub down there. And it actually, I think they might just do some distilling there on the premises. But anyway, I dare say, if I'm completely wrong, someone put it in the comments down below. There you go. Oh, actually, I want to talk about the comments down below. Lots and lots of fantastic comments. But every so often, we have some interesting people who like to be quite abusive with their comments. So I have at my end of YouTube, so if you've not done YouTube or seen it before, I have a button where I can hide their comments, not just now and forever. So if you're one of these people watching it and now wondering why your comments aren't shown anymore, it's called a ban button. There you go, so don't bother again. But it's the very, very few. So if you see some of these comments before I actually get to delete them, apologies guys, all right? I know I said to the members not long ago about it, but it's my job to make sure we keep this as a family channel as it was created for in the first place. Right, if they're constructive, go for it. But some people just, yeah, keyboard warriors I call them. Right, okay, so that's the gin. Right, let's go for the next one. I've just realised how long we've been. Yeah, time to start yakking a bit, and I think we're getting near the place that I want to get to as well, which is good. So we're going to head down and walk across. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's avoid as many of the people as possible. And if you can see down that way, oh, got a little bit. We're heading down towards the Serpentine. So that'd be great, and we'll come up by the Italian Gardens here at Kensington Gardens, which is also gorgeous. Right, next one. Where are the best drift stores and markets in London, and what time of day is the best time to get there? Irma, fantastic. What a great question. Irma's over in Finland. Lovely to have you here, and I always thank you for your contribution as well, Irma. Right, do you know what? There are thrift and second-hand shops and all the rest of it all over London. My personal favourite one I love going to is just off Brick Lane in East London. I call it East London, it's actually just off the city, but it's going out towards there. There's a fantastic one there, does all sorts of vintage stuff. It even sells records in there as well. Jaden likes to pop in there every so often with me, purely for that purpose. When are they open? These places are now open all of the time. And on a Saturday and Sunday, these places in central London do an absolutely roaring trade. But if you want to see a thrift shop or a second-hand shop with a difference, if you go to the King's Road, I think it's the Heart Foundation. They've got a couple of charity shops down there. But what's absolutely incredible is the stuff that people donate to them are your Gucci's and your really well-to-do labels, etc. And you can find them in the second-hand store. Now, because it's on the King's Road, they do put a slight up on it, and don't forget it's going for charity. But it's worth just going in there and having a look. It's quite funny. I won't do it myself. I'm not a fashionista. But if I find a fashionista to go in there with me, I'll film them, because that would be quite a funny thing to do, the stuff that's donated there. Right, brilliant question. Right, I'm going to put these ones together. So Michelle has asked, are tours of Buckingham Palace allowed? And have you ever taken a tour of an English castle? I'm going to do that second bit. Yes, I have. I've been to Windsor Castle a few times, long time ago, but I have been to Windsor Castle and taken a tour of that, which is fantastic. And I'm going to put that together with Luana's, which is Buckingham Palace open for public tours? And she also says, or at least is there part of the palace open for public tours? And would there be a fee, or is it free? And I'd imagine if the king is in the palace, the public would not be allowed in. So every summer they open up Buckingham Palace, so you can go in and do various things. Now the Royal Mews, where the stagecoaches are and that, is away from the palace, so you can go in there. They open up the back garden every summer. We've done a video on that before. And I've also been inside the palace as well. Now what happens is every year the king goes up to Balmoral or one of the other palaces, and as a result isn't around. So they open up the palaces and they do tours, which is fantastic. You do pay a fee. I think it might have been something like £20-25, something like that. You buy the tickets online. You go to Buckingham Palace online and you can buy tickets to go to various places, which is good. The only problem is you can't film, which is why you've never seen inside Buckingham Palace, because I'm not saying they're strict, but they've got their eyes on you. So there is not a hope in hell of filming in there, but it is incredible just to go in and see. It really is quite remarkable. That's the wildlife, by the way, if you're thinking it's my stomach. I think it's Canadian geese, otherwise known as cobras. Thanks, Rhonda. That did make me smile, did make me chuckle. So yeah, you can get in there. There's fees to pay. King's not there. But it's a fantastic thing to do. But you've got to book your tickets well in advance because they go very, very quickly. So just keep an eye on that. So if you know you come to London, book that in. Right, let's just give you a quick view of the Serpentine. So that's the bridge, which sort of separates Hyde Park with Kensington Gardens, and that big tower that you can see is the Royal Barracks at near Knightsbridge there. And you can also, that's what the pedlos go up to on the other side there. That's what Jaden and myself and Gino did many moons ago. We got the video on that. And then you go up this way, and then just further up around the other side of the tree is the Italian Gardens here at Kensington Gardens. And who knows, we may even get over there yet. Now, over here somewhere, and I think we haven't got to it yet, is the Peter Pan statue over for, because believe it or not, I've never seen it. So certainly want to head over to that and see that in a second. Right, so that's answered those two. What is the typical price of gasoline in London? Michelle, great question. So when we talk about gasoline, we're talking about unleaded. So unleaded over here at the moment is £1.52 a litre. So I don't know how that compares, and also you need to do a gallon transfer if gallons is your thing. But ours is done and priced in litres, so it's 152, and you can probably add another 10 to 15p for diesel on top of that. So that's the price for that over here at the moment. Have I ever taken photos from the top of the Ferris wheel? Says Michelle. Yes, I have. And every so often, do you know what? That's a really good point. I don't actually think I've actually put them on the community post. So that's a really good point. I normally have the community post done a couple of weeks in advance. So I'll save that one for the beginning of June. So when you go on there, I might even put courtesy of Michelle. So Michelle, thank you very much. Love that one. Also Michelle asks, what types of food are served at tea time? So if we're talking about afternoon tea, so afternoon tea, which you can get in all these lovely places, varies in price. So do shop around. And I am determined to go and do one. Go and film an afternoon tea. Even if it is purely for the virtue of the fact that Joe wants to go and have an afternoon tea, and then we can use it as an excuse to put it on. And interestingly, a company based in, God, where are they based? Knightsbridge and some other lovely posh places have been in email contact recently, said that we could do a collaboration. So whether that means we go down there, film us having an afternoon tea, they pay for it, and then we go, oh, that was a lovely tea, but it was free. Who knows? Tell me what you think. Should I do that or not? Or am I selling my eating habits? Or should I just go and have a good, yeah, I think it might be an option. Anyway, let us know in the comments down below. So anyway, afternoon tea, what have you got? Yeah, you've got your sandwiches, cucumber sandwiches, ham sandwiches, and all the bits and pieces with the crust cut off, because that's the posh way of doing it. Then also, sometimes you've got, if you go to Fortnum & Mason, for instance, they put in Scotch eggs, so like halves of Scotch eggs. Then you've got cakes, scones, etc., all served on a sort of a 3-tier platter, which is very, very nice. And of course, a cup of tea as well to go with it. There you go, very, very nice cup of tea. So there you go. So that's what you have there. Right, this is the reason I came down here and to this section, because one thing I realised I've never seen, let's see if we can get it in here, is the Peter Pan statue, which is, as you can see, quite popular. Just here. There you are, Peter Pan. And that's here by the side of the Serpentine. And the statue, a bronze, was a gift of Sir James Barrie, who lived from 1860 to 1937, the creator of Peter Pan, and it was first placed here on the 1st of May 1912. And it was opened at the time by HRH, the Princess Margaret, who was the Countess of Snowdon. She unveiled the plaque here in 1997. So there you go, it's been around for some time. Very nice. There we go. I'm just taking a bit of film for that, and we'll put that in a future video where we'll look at some of the odd things around London as well. Right, back to the questions. So that was Michelle. So Michelle, thank you for all your questions. We've got another one from you as well, which is, where are the best places to shop for London themed souvenirs? Wow, that's a question. Depends what you're after. Now, you'll know, and so will many others who have won prizes, that I get London-based souvenirs, and we send them out as part of the quiz. Haven't done it for the last couple of weeks, only because I haven't been around to be able to post them out. So it's one of those things. So we've done it for a bit of fun. But where do I go? I go places like some of the pop-up places they have near Green Park, near Piccadilly Circus, etc. So I pop there. It really depends what you're after. Everywhere seems to do them. If you want classy ones and more expensive ones, then you're going to probably pop to Harrods. They've got a whole London collection in there. So it really does depend what you're after. But if you're after a fridge magnet or something like that I get, or whatever, I get it from those places that are popped up, Piccadilly Circus and by Green Park. There you go. Nice question. Thanks, Michelle. Right, Mike Carson, he says, any suggestions for the visiting foodie? It's a bit like the previous one, Mike. It really does depend on what you fancy. You'll find within London, you'll have sort of little sections with their own nationality. Like you have the Italian section, which is over near Goode Street, and they've got some fantastic Italian restaurants and all the rest of it over there. If you want to go and have a really nice authentic Indian meal or Bangladeshi meal, you're going to go down Brick Lane. It's that sort of area down there. It really does depend on the food that you fancy. I would tend, if you want some nice food, probably stick away from the main central London area, the West End area, because it's all, not all, but a lot of it is a bit, and you've got to find your paces carefully. If you fancy street food, we featured a number of different places where you can get different types of street food, and they're popping up more and more, and the food is just gorgeous. I love going to Borough Market because you've just got a whole cross section, and indeed today, before I even started videoing, I popped in there, and I hadn't had salt beef for ages, and I just had a yearning for a salt beef on rye bread and all the rest of it. Don't know why, but I just had that yearning. So I popped in there for that. And it was absolutely potty. It was mad in there, really, really busy. So it really does depend on what you fancy. But there's plenty of places, just depending on your culinary tastes. Right, so we are there actually, which is rather handy because, instead of cutting off me what we got, these are the Italian Gardens, which we've also featured before. In fact, I say they're the Italian Gardens, we haven't got any of the waterfalls going. So what I will do is I'll link our video that we did on here previously, where you've got the waterfalls going and all the rest of it, which is absolutely lovely. And we'll take you just for a very quick tour before we sign off on this video today. Just to give you a bit of a view on that as well. And all I'm going to say also is I really hope you've enjoyed the vid. Thank you so much for your questions, which are fantastic. If you're watching this and thinking he'll never answer my questions, we will. We'll make sure of it. Even if the video is a couple of hours, no, I'm not joking. Just put them in there, ask away. The only stupid question is the one that's not asked. So if you've got a question, ask away and we'll get that covered. And if you want me to expand on anything else that I've said today, then please do. How about that for a reflection? They're lovely. There you go, reflection of the clouds in the Italian Gardens here. So normally, right in the middle, you've got the fountains going, but not today. So I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll walk up the top part here. So what we've done is we've walked from Gloucester Road. I've yacked all the time, I can't believe I've done that. All the way up to Lancaster Gate. We've gone via Kensington Palace, and then also the statue as well, big fan. Or how about that, we've got a moorhen with her little chicks. Ah, lovely. There you go, she's taking a dive, obviously. Stage fright, there you go. There you go, oh, no, lovely, right. And what a lovely evening to do it as well. There you go, you've got the sun over there as well by the statues. And as we go down, we've got all sorts of water plants here. That's normally going as well. That's normally a water fountain as well. There you go. And then what we have got right at the very end here, so we'll go up to that before we sign off and say tutty byes. But you've got the fountain down here, which looks right back down the Serpentine, which is lovely. And the Serpentine goes from here all the way back to Hyde Park Corner, which I'm not doing today because we've had a nice walk, but it's been fantastic answering your questions. Here we go. And that gives you a great view. And if you felt like you didn't need the toilet beforehand, that should help. The sound of running water. Love it. How about that? Right. There you go, guys. I shall look into the sun so you don't have to. And you can see the lovely water behind. A massive thank you for watching this month's Q&A. If you've got anything you want for June's Q&A, just drop it in the comments below, and we'll pick it up for then. As always, thank you so much for your support, for getting involved, also for all your likes and comments and all your views as well. It really does make it all worthwhile doing this here at London Visited, which I love doing, and bringing you along as well for the journey. Until we see you again, take care and thanks for watching. Bye.